We start rather predictably with episode 1, Days Gone By. Sheriff Rick Grams awakes in the hospital after being shot, which for some reason means he's walking like he's been kicked in the bollocks. We make our way down a long and deserted corridor, but I can't take the corridor all the way down, as that would be poor level design. And if there's one thing this game isn't, it's low effort. The game then tells me to find and take some painkillers, which is easy enough, although when I take them, the screen fades to black, and I suspect that paracetamol was severely out of date. It's like, Christ, how long was I in that coma for? Also, this isn't edited, this is a very real transition. Ah, there we go, we finally paid the electricity bill. I don't know why we needed a black screen for taking painkillers, but alright. I take it all back, that transition means we can now jog with the vigour of a younger man. We then get a look at the iconic Don't Dead Open Inside. Oh my god. What the fuck was that face? Oh, what the fuck is that? Oh, it looks like his face has been squished. I then go to escape the hospital via a crouch mechanic. Oh, yeah, nice one, mate. I wouldn't have guessed that. And we come across our first walker, which I'm guessing I still should have been crouched for. But when in doubt, button bash until you escape. How do I fight there? Or do I have to run? I'd say you were supposed to be silent and avoid the fight. Bell end. Run. Yeah, they won't be able to crouch. They won't be able to get into there. Ah, yes, thankfully walkers don't know how to use their knees. How do I get out of here? Oh, fire escape. Let's go down the fire escape. Can I get out this way? Nope, okay, yep, not a great fire escape. I then gotta master the parkour mechanics to survive 2 more walkers that have lost the use of their knees. Even though he's still suffering from a gunshot wound, the boy's still agile as fuck. I guess that out-of-date paracetamol is doing wonders. Can they climb over that? No, they can't. Okay, well, these are very stupid zombies. We then step outside and see the mess the world has been left in. The dead are walking, there's blood everywhere. And no fucker can park an ambulance to save their bloody life. The game wants me to sneak through the car park, well, technically it says parking lot, but if I use too many foreign phrases, Rishi Sunak is gonna send me on a plane to Rwanda. The game tries telling me to distract zombies by lobbing bottles, but I don't think I need to as they have the peripheral vision of a blind man. And when I inevitably get spotted, I can just merrily jog to the exit with no repercussions. Episode 2. Wait, what? Fuck off, was that an episde? Alright, well, this should be interesting. We then get a look at our first cutscene, but I think I'm having performance issues as I'm having one frame every 7.6 seconds. Hi. A zombie then lurches towards me, I'm assuming, and Morgan comes to save the day. Can they not even afford cutscenes? What the fuck is this? We then spawn back into gameplay with one simple quest. Search the police vehicle. And please bear in mind that Morgan is stood right next to me. And some silly sod of a copper has left a sheriff's outfit out in the elements. And if I'm being honest, the outfit looks pretty sick, provided you ignore Rick's face. Honestly, he looks like a rejected character from the Grand Theft Auto Definitive Edition. I'm watching from the roof. What do you mean you're watching from the roof? You were behind me a second ago, bro. If you've got the ability to teleport, share it with a guy. Do you know what I mean? I'm gonna go to Morgan's house. He didn't tell me where Morgan's house was, but yeah, no worries, Morgan. I then find our first weapon, but it seems its last owner wasn't a fan of flood defenses. I collect the knife and stab our first zombie. Well, slightly shaved his cheek, should we say. Although taking down walkers in this way really drains your stamina. I also find a baseball bat and attempt to batter our first zombie. But that doesn't exactly go to plan. I get there eventually, and it seems wild to me that swinging a baseball bat around like this uses so much less stamina than a simple stab to the chin. I've then got to clear the area of walkers so I can get to the police car. I guess the cop car we seen earlier was out of petrol or something. And I'm sure you'll agree I handled the situation expertly. Morgan's then like, yeah, good going, bud. You can certainly handle yourself. Thanks, Morgan. Yeah, I mean, you said you were on the roof, by the way, and you couldn't cover me. What a prick. I then get to the cop car, and for like the 7th time already, we fade to black. We then get another 4 frames of cutscene. I swear to God, if someone comments something like, it's to pay homage to the comic book origins, I'm gonna slap you in your empty fucking head. I can't believe they announced Game of the Year before this was released. Yes, agreed, it's obviously corruption at the very top. Rick and Morgan part their ways, vowing to keep in touch via radio. Morgan tells Rick he heard rumours of a military camp in Atlanta, providing shelter to survivors. Rick sets off toward Atlanta, however, upon reaching the city, he finds it overrun by the dead. All that's left to do is continue searching for his family and keep hope alive. Episode 3, Guts. Although, spoiler alert, there's literally no reason for this episode to be called Guts. So I make my way through the streets of Atlanta and definitely don't tease the undead as I do so. Waggers. So I lob a bottle to distract a few, thinking I can definitely sneak over the bonnet of this car. But no, I can't. So I get into a massive fight that I'm definitely not equipped for, but Rick becomes panicked and can no longer attack. Which, I'll be honest, I think is a really cool concept, but it's been executed abysmally. I just really don't think these levels are big enough to pull off a mechanic like this. Anyway, it takes me a while, but I eventually figure out I've got to batter some crates before I can sneak through the bus. And thankfully the walkers behind me have lost interest. So again, I do my best to go back to sneaking, but inevitably I get spotted. Why are you not swinging, Rick, when I press the button? And I swear to God, if I see the word skill issue in that comment section, I will not be held responsible for my actions. I know, don't tell me about stamina, right? Because stamina, how hard is it to lift a frickin' knife up your bell end? Oh, look, knifing a zombie takes all your stamina. That hurts a lot, does it? Shut up, Rick. Don't be a prick. Honestly, it doesn't suit you. I then struggle to figure out exactly where to go, especially as we have a road closed sign. Fair play to the council worker who stuck that up before the apocalypse got too bad. Wait, are they about to find their way through? They don't find their way through, but I'm now completely stuck. I need to climb to the top of this blue box, but the only way I'm getting up there is if I move that garbage bin or whatever the fuck it is. But as soon as I try moving it, all the walkers push against it and find their way through, so now I've got to start battering bitches. But once I clear them, I can then push the bin and climb on top of the box. I then have to make my way over some scaffolding, which certainly wouldn't pass regulation. See? Told you. I've then got to make my way to the tank. How am I supposed to head for the tank when there's 1,000,001 dickheads in the way? Okay, that one sounds like a skill issue. Thankfully, I'm saved by the cutscene, and thankfully this one's not inspired by a graphic novel. Look, we've actually got fluid motion. The tank then gets surrounded and we take over as Glenn. And Glenn's mission is simple. He's just got to save Rick's life, providing he can work out the dodgy climbing mechanics. Thankfully, Glenn is still one sneaky boy, and rolling under a shoulder-high table makes us completely immune to zombie attacks. I'm so glad walkers don't have knees. Glenn then finds himself in the same street that Rick was like 2 minutes ago. He's got to get to the fire truck to turn on the sirens, and that should hopefully distract the horde that's surrounding Rick's tank. And so far, what I've learned with this game, when in doubt, leg it to your point of interest. Honestly, it feels like I've been saved by a fade to black about 12 times. Glenn whacks on the sirens, but thankfully the hordes around us don't immediately eviscerate him. But it does lure the zombies from the tank, and Rick can escape. This time from a less subtle fade from black. Rick then does a cheeky bit of climbing, and we find ourselves some flash grenades. They actually work on zombies? Short answer, no. No, they do not. I dropped from a full story, but it's alright because I know how to do a roly-poly. I then climb the stairs and spot the ladder that'll lead to the roof. But I easily sneak my way through because I'm one stealthy boy. I get to the ladder, we fade to black, then we witness the showdown between T-Dog and Merle. And then we finally get our first decision. You know, the whole thing this game was marketed on. And trying to be as different from the show as possible, I diffuse the situation siding with Merle. But that doesn't go too well for T-Dog, as Merle then handcuffs him to the roof when everybody leaves. Okay, Merle really is evil. R.I.P. T-Dog. When the outbreak occurred with Rick in a coma, Shane looked after Rick's wife and son as if they were his own. Believing Rick to be dead, Laurie and Shane developed feelings for each other and began a romantic relationship. Together they joined a group of survivors camping just outside of Atlanta. Episode 4, Life Worth Living. Laurie, you slag! I'm sorry, can't believe my wife would do that. I then get to take over as Shane, our real protagonist in this playthrough. Why does he seem so low? Is it just me? Has Shane always been this short? He's got little man syndrome? And Shane's duty as current leader is to find food for the group. Who'd have guessed Shane was such a progressive and enjoyed collecting berries in an enchanted forest? We're then introduced to stealth mechanics by hiding in bushes. Oh, hang on. No, I'm hiding in a bush. I'm not detected. Go away. And I certainly don't fail this net sequence 6 times in a row due to my own incompetency. Oh, for fuck's sake, are you guys pissing me off, you fucking stupid twat. What can I say? Shane's an absolute beast and collects all the food on this first attempt. Pick up the fruit! Pick up the fruit! Find a way back to camp. Yep, I'll find a fucking way, son. Don't you worry about that. Shane gets to safety and radios Laurie, telling her he's on his way back to camp. Then Rick, Glenn and Merle arrive back to camp, and Rick can have an emotional reunion with his family. Then we get access to our first HQ, the survivor camp. And the first thing we gotta do is solve a group conflict between Merle and Dale. And basically Dale is accusing Merle of leaving T-Dog behind on purpose, which definitely wasn't the case. So I defend Merle and explain it was most definitely an accident. So I have a little wander around the camp and I realise there's several high profile characters that are missing. For example, Carol's husband's not here, but that could be seen as good news if Rick is looking for an apocalyptic fling. There's no Jim, there's no Jackie, and there's no Morales. But most notably, there's no Andrea or her sister. That's some pretty serious storylines and guess we're just gonna pretend didn't happen. Hey Shane, thanks for keeping my wife safe.
Is that really you? Wow, can't believe my eyes.
You really don't seem that arsed, I'll be honest with you. You haven't even looked up from your hammering tents which are already erected. Sorry, I'm laughing at the word erected. I collect my next mission from this table by the caravan. I send Daryl out on an expedition to clear out some walkers. Then a few nights later, Rick sneaks away for a cheeky midnight tug, but there's a horde of walkers heading straight towards camp. And now I gotta hurry back to camp to save my family. No, there's no need to hurry. We'll just take our time. But I finally unlock my gun, so you know what I've gotta do. I just start blasting. But Daryl interrupts my fun with an urgent radio call. What can I say? The bloke obviously needs his handheld. So I tell him to man up and fight his way out. I then get surprised by some bush-dwelling bitch. That's alright, I got some proper hard shoes on. Time to go stampy. Fuck, zombies are coming out of the ground. Bloody Diglett, like. I find some ammo on this pickup and find out that Daryl failed his mission. God damn it, I probably should have sent Merle. I'm here to save my family. But Laurie's been an absolute waste of space like usual. And my new quest is simple. Escort Laurie to the RV. But this is the first time I've got to use a gun. Literally all I want to do is shoot zombies in the face. But as usual, the missus always has something to say when you're having fun. Help! No, Laurie, I'm not helping you right now. I'm killing zombies. This is literally the whole reason I'm playing this game. I contemplate letting her go down as Walker grub, but then who's gonna look after my kid while I'm out slaying zombies? And with her saved, I've now got to escort her to the RV. Why she couldn't just walk across the camp unattended, I have no idea. Then with Laurie safe, the next person I've got to save is my son.
I'm over here!
Double exclamation mark as well. That's how you know he's serious. That's my son. My own flesh and blood. Why are you down there, you silly moron? There's literally no one about. I've killed all the zombies. But as I'm escorting him to the RV, Carl gets grappled. You got this. It's a learning moment. You know what I mean? I'm a good father, really. It's a father and son thing, alright? I don't think he can get eaten. Oh! Okay, he can get eaten. My mistake. Unfortunately, I start all the way back here because checkpoints would equal a lower game time. But you know what? With hindsight, I now think that Daryl should stay put. And you'll never guess what? That pays off. Oh, expedition success. Look at that. I did it successfully. Who'd have guessed that? I once again save Laurie and take her to the RV. And this time, don't let my son get eaten by a bunch of bloodthirsty knobheads. Then, with everybody safe on the RV, excluding Rick, it gets surrounded and assaulted by the undead. Then Rick needs to defend the RV for 1 minute 15. Well, that is incredibly precise. Let's get to it. Do you know how to unflood an engine, Laurie? Because I don't. Oh, you sexist bastard, how dare you. What, she can't unflood an engine because she's a woman? You make me fucking sick, pal. The walkers keep coming, but Rick keeps fighting them off.
Better get in! Keep them away, Dad!
Well, how about you get out here and help me? You're old enough now. How old are you? 11? That's enough to be fighting zombies. I then find a homemade grenade on the table and immediately lob it at the RV where my wife and son are in. Fingers crossed I can still claim the life insurance after the fall of society. I successfully keep them alive and they just flat out abandon me. Did they just abandon me? Yeah, my wife and son just abandoned me. And I've now got to fight through the hordes to get to the pickup truck. But the one thing I've learned about this game is just run to your point of interest. And believe it or not, that is actually the end of Season 1. They don't go back to Atlanta and they don't meet Dr. Jenner. Instead, we jump straight to Season 2 and our second campsite of the game. No idea how Merle becomes so heavily equipped, but fair play to him, I guess. And you know the worst thing about the apocalyptic adventure? Moany kids.
I wish I could take a bath.
Oh, shut the fuck up, you moron. It would be a proper shame if she got lost in the woods and became zombified. Then I've got to solve another group conflict, this time between Shane and Laurie. They're having a heated, whispered conversation, and I'm sure there's nothing suspicious going on. They're probably just planning my surprise birthday party. My best friend and my wife. That's obviously got to be it, right? Anyway, bros before hoes. Carl's also being a moody son of a bitch.
I wish people would stop treating me like a kid.
I tried not treating you like a kid, you moron, and you got it. Anyway, this roadside's almost certainly not safe. Let's crack on. I send Merle on an anger management course, and then we get stuck in a traffic jam. And the game violates the whole show don't tell rule of storytelling. Then we get attacked by walkers, and Sophia legs it into the woods. Rick takes chase after her, and I've just realised this poor bastard's never done a squat in his life. Episode 6. What lies ahead? And the first thing I try doing is backtracking to see if I can just avoid this mission. She's obviously long gone, let's cut the losses and move on. But no, Rick's obviously the good guy. I find a pistol on this rock and seeing as it holds more bullets, decide it would be a better idea to take it. But it wouldn't be the first time I've been wrong. What? That's up. Wait, how are these guys walking off headshots? Yeah, so now we got bullet sponging zombies. And the funny thing is, I don't know if that's a glitch or literally by design. I then die in the most ridiculous of circumstances, with a walker nibbling on my scrotum. Oh, fuck off. That is a load of shite. Absolute horseshit. This time I stay on top of the ledge, which the zombies apparently can't climb up, and safely pop headshots from distance. Then as I move on, I've got to micromanage Merle, who's not able to loot due to there being too many walkers. So I'm like, just take him out, you prick. I then alert another sizable horde. Right, why are they, how are they, what's going on with this gun, and why are they walking off headshots for fun? I mean, I don't know a lot about guns, but I'm pretty sure you don't just walk off a shot like that. So I decide to try out a new tactic, fucking leg it. We then get introduced to a brand new zombie type. The grenade walker. Basically a walker with a grenade vest. Now I'll be honest, I've never been to America, but if rednecks were running around with suicide vests, I think it would have made it onto my newsfeed. Is that got dynamite? Who the hell fits a zombie with dynamite? Interesting. Oh, shit, that was my bad. So I get ready to desperately fight for my life, then Merle radios me. Oh, expedition success. Nice one, Merle. Do you mind, like, not radioing me when I'm about to kill zombies, though? I then get jumped, but that just activates my super angry mode, which turns out to be a very bad thing if you're the undead. I find Sophia pretty easily as she has terrible camouflaging skills. Blue t-shirt in a green wood, honestly love, you're just asking to be eaten. Rick tells her to hide under a tree, then I've got to go and clear out all the walkers I've just avoided. Thankfully, I'm a gaming god, and just stick with the ledge strat I worked out earlier. And once they're all taken care of, I jump on down. However, that's when the game decides to troll me. Looks like there's a few more I've got to take care of, and they won't even let me climb back onto my ledge. Bastards. I again get jumped and this time become panic. Only dodging, no attacking, no shooting. Great. Not an ideal situation when you have to kill all of the walkers. So I just run around for the full minute in the hope that when the timer hits 0, the game will move me on. But no, now I have to kill them all. I hate the fact that I can't just kill a zombie by shooting it in the fucking head. I hate bullet sponges. It's the thing I hate most about video games. It takes a little while, but with a whole run away whenever you get attacked strat, I eventually managed to clear them out. And shock and horror, you wouldn't believe it, but Sophia has disappeared. Shane decides to come and give me a hand looking, and thought it would be a great idea to bring the bloody 10-year-old. And it's fair to say that didn't exactly work out. Great work, Shane. Now my son's dying. We never do find out who shot him, but we somehow stumble upon this old farmer with his 2 daughters. Who shot him? Is that gonna be like a whodunit? The old farmer dude's like, look, I can save him, but we're gonna need a bit of equipment. Shane volunteers because he's obviously a better man than Rick. Then we gotta make a decision on which daughter comes with us, Maggie or Beth. And I decide Maggie's definitely the girl for me. I've also gotta decide who to send out on an expedition, and I decide to go with Carol, seeing as it is her daughter that's missing. Get to work, you lazy bitch. Episode 7, Bloodletting. Shane and Maggie head to Maggie's old high school, but not because of any illicit sort of reasons. There was a medical center set up here when society fell. They both split up and we start the mission as Maggie. And I've once again got to do some stealthy shit. And as I'm sure you all know, I'm a stealth god, so it goes exceptionally. Okay, yeah, this was a mistake, chat. I've got 5 bullets left. I run around aimlessly for 5, not knowing how to get through. Then realise I've obviously got to batter the crate. I can't step over it. Oh my god, look at that. I'm a genius. Although I accidentally head in the wrong direction, and Maggie collapses due to like heart palpitations or something. Honestly, no idea. But now I know how to get through, I'm certainly not going to fail a second time. Oh god, that's an explosive one. You prick. You know what they say, 3rd time's a charm. To get into the medical center, I've got to smash up more crates. Because as you know, whenever zombies rise, the bastards get really into woodwork. I get inside and the door slams behind me. Thank god, I'm sure that'll keep me safe. I then collect all of the medical shite I could need, and then swap to Shane, who gratefully gets to move through the level without there being any walkers. Just a few stragglers in the yard outside the medical center. I enter into the school, and then I've got to micromanage Carol. She's like, maybe I should do a bit of arson, Sophia might see it from distance. And I'm like, yeah, crack on, love. I then notice a bed that can move, and figure I gotta use it for something, let's give it a go. But that turns out to be a terrible idea. Oh, hang on, why did I not spot them? What the hell? And this is where we figure out that Shane is actually a massive pussy. What do you mean you can't take on an entire horde on your own? What a knobhead. And what makes it even worse, when I respawn, all of the walkers are back. That is a piss take. Maggie had done all the hard work. But hey, at least the crate hasn't respawned. I sprint into the high school like I'm Prince Andrew, and try blocking off the door with the wheelie bin. Oh, fuck off, Carol, not now, woman. Unfortunately, the bin barely slows them down, so I whip out the pistol and start blasting. But inevitably is too little too late. Alright, fine, I get it, we'll go back to stealthing. So I sneak through with what I'm sure you'll agree is expert precision. And this time I can get into the school and actually successfully block the door with the wheelie bin. I also discover I can take down walkers from the other side of obstacles. Very handy. I then stealthily sneak into the infirmary and successfully find all the medical shit I need. I then gotta try and find another way out, but it turns out Carol's campfire wasn't a good idea after all. I then find myself a shotgun in the sports hall. No idea how it got here, but let's just assume it's a reason that won't end up with me getting cancelled. I immediately rush to the other side to try and escape, but that door is sealed up tight. My goal then shifts from escape to attack, but apparently these shotguns are basically confetti cannons. Are you serious? A shotgun doesn't kill a zombie in the face? And thankfully they all just sort of get stuck on this sign. Alright, so it seems that some of them can actually get through. So I run around for a few minutes, and when the countdown hits 0, we fade to black and take back over as Maggie. And Maggie's job is simple: save Shane's life. What the hell is that zombie doing? Thankfully our girl Maggie is one agile ass, but I'm more thankful for zombies having not figured out they can bend under upside down tables. I then make it into the opposite end of the sports hall, and it seems some silly sod has left a sniper rifle hanging about. I'm still refusing to comment on why there are so many guns in this high school. No, I'm not getting cancelled today, thank you very much. It's impossible to get headshots, chat. It's not my dodgy aim, okay? Although I do get a cheeky triple. But unfortunately, that wasn't enough to save Shane's life. R.I.P. Shane, I guess. My second attempt goes much better. Then Shane has to have a boss battle with a heavy walker. And I'll be honest, fighting a bulky bitch in a sports hall, this has Last of Us ripoff written all over it. Thankfully, the dude's like proper socially awkward, and he just stands in the corner until I decapitate him with my axe. Shane and Maggie then escape the hordes together. Well, that is until the clumsy bitch trips up and drops the medical supply. supplies. Shane then has to make a heart-wrenching decision. Does he save the narcotics or the cute farm girl? You know what? I'm sure Carl will be fine. Oh, bollocks. R.I.P. Carl. Back to the farm, and now we're playing as Shane, who had no reason to shave his head. There was no struggle with Otis. In fact, that fucker doesn't even exist in this universe. We then get another group conflict I've got to solve, this time between Hershel and Laurie. A distraught Laurie crumples to her knees before Hershel sobbing uncontrollably. The older man looks down in pity and shame.
How could you let this happen?
Laurie cries.
I trusted you. My family trusted you. And now Carl is gone.
Hershel just bows his head, red-rimmed, eyes welling with tears.
I'm sorry,
He says in a low voice.
I did everything I could.
Support Laurie. I can't believe you couldn't save that boy, Hershel. What a bitch. We then find out Laurie is pregnant thanks to a text cutaway. Then we flash back to the day society fell. Episode 8, Haunted. And Shane's dressed sexy as fuck in his sheriff gear. And Shane's job is a simple one. Get to the first floor. You know what? I'm just gonna take this and just use it to my advantage. Walkers don't stand a chance against me and my gurney. But with no axe or baseball bat, I eventually have to go hand to hand with the bitch. I then head upstairs, find a sniper rifle, and try using another gurney to my advantage. But apparently that defense isn't as strong as I thought it would be. So as the crowds get too much, I roll back to my safe space and get the wins from there. I can then run to Rick's room. We have an emotional 5 minutes before blocking the door with the ultimate defensive tool. I then gotta fight through the entire US military to get out of the hospital. And if you thought the walkers were bullet sponges, you haven't seen anything yet. In the end, I decided to just fuck it and run past them all. I've just taken on the US Army with a baseball bat. Yep, see you later. Although when I get downstairs, there's another corridor of walkers for me to fight, but I can once again just bypass them and head straight for the exit. When I get outside, it seems the military are fighting off the undead, so I can just run straight for the exit. So back to the farm, and we have another group conflict we need to solve, this time between Daryl and Dale. And this time I don't even need to read this shit, I'm obviously siding with my boy Daryl. Then we find out Hershel has been keeping walkers in the barn. Episode 9, pretty much dead already. And keeping things simple, this is probably the worst mission I've ever played in my 20 odd years of gaming. Firstly, it won't let me get to the barn where my boys are waiting for me, but in the game's defense it is telling me to go to the shed area. Is that not the shed area? No, that's quite obviously a barn, you dozy pillock. I head to the actual shed area and we have walkers just roaming about. Hershel, you old senile bastard, this is definitely violating multiple health and safety laws. Stamping on zombies in the cabbages. This is not going to be good for our food supply. I then get completely stumped, but again in the game's defense it is telling me to get the fire axe. I have more tamper swings before eventually, and I mean eventually, this must have taken me easily 10 to 15 minutes to figure out. I've got to move all these pissing boxes about. Whenever you're doing bad in a game, just blame the developers. But I do eventually get the axe and take it to Shane. Now, playing as Shane, I break the barn open, but there doesn't actually seem to be any zombies in there. Maybe that bastard Glenn was lying to me. Oh no, I've just got to snap the chain before the walkers snap into place. And again, the shotgun is basically a massive confetti cannon. Except, I suppose, when it's not. Literally have no idea how this is supposed to work. Also, why the fuck is Hershel keeping grenade walkers in the barn? You can argue for however long you want about the morality about taking a zombie's life, but for the love of God, at least take the explosive vest off the twat. Honestly, this took so fucking long, it was unreal. The walkers just kept coming and coming. He must have had half the population of Georgia in that bloody barn. It ends with me fighting a big bastard while Daryl's dealing with the rest of them. Rick, I'm almost dying here. Do you want to come and help out your best friend just because I was shagging your wife? We eventually get the win, but guess who's the last to come out of the barn? Surprise twist, it's Sophia. Hershel's like, ah shit, they found my supply of kids. Then Rick puts down the zombified girl. Tensions between Rick and Shane have reached an unsustainable level. Something's gotta give. There's no turning back now. Shane's like, shall we wander off into a dark field where no one can disturb us? And Rick's like, yeah, sure, let's go. And I don't usually do this, but I'm gonna play the entire cutscene for you.
So this is where you plan to do it?
As good a place as any. It ain't gonna be easy, but Laurie will get over you. They done it before. They just gonna have to.
You gonna kill me in cold blood? Take my place so you can screw my wife? Have my children? My children! Call you daddy?
Dude, probably not gonna be children.
I'm a better father than you, Rick. I'm better for Laurie than you, man, because I'm a better man than you, Rick, because I'd fight for her.
Then we gotta make our decision, Shane or Rick. And I'm obviously trying to make it as different as possible from the show, so Shane should lead the group. Oh my god, what is up with his eye? We then get a boss fight to end all boss fights. Oh my god, I actually get to fight him. And this goofy ass shit is the reason for my rage. Fair play, mind, Rick can take a headshot. You see, the shotgun only holds 4 rounds. Then when I try reloading, it cancels the animation, I have to start all over again. And that's assuming I'm able to fight at all. Why are you not aiming now? Why are you not aiming? What the fuck? And that means I get popped. Fucking hell. It literally wouldn't let me aim. Again. Fuck off. And again. Fuck off. What the fuck? fucking stupid shit is this cunting game? But eventually I put the fucker down. Then we gotta fight again, this time hand to hand. But thankfully I have a fire axe while Rick has a baseball bat. And well, R.I.P. Rick, I guess. Rick then becomes zombified almost immediately, and Shane puts him down. Then somehow the barn sets on fire, and everybody has to escape. And not a single person stops to ask where Rick is. I guess they didn't actually care after all. And with Season 2 coming to an abrupt end, it's on to Season 3. And just when you thought the game can't get any worse, we end at Woodbury. But apparently the game didn't save last time, so I've got to redo the Rick fight, which went well. Take it, Rick! Take it, Rick! Take it like your wife took it, Rick! Our first HQ is the prison outskirts, and immediately we gotta solve a group conflict between Glenn and Merle. And basically Glenn's not happy that Merle is a loud and proud sort of boy, and obviously I gotta back up that kind of philosophy. None of this actually matters, that's what I've kind of figured. So our first mission involves Shane, Carol and Daryl, and starting with Shane, his mission is simple: kill walkers. Although you might say 13 is unlucky for some. Well, it's a bloody good thing once you've killed them all. More of them will simply drop from the sky. But these ones have armored helmets, so take additional hits to kill. Well, that's not annoying. Can I shoot the helmets at least? Yes, they do take shots. Oh, I did 2 in 1. I'm a trick shotter. Hey, and once they're cleared, guess what? We have another wave. I also find a homemade grenade in the prison grounds. I guess the US and UK prison systems are very different. Shane takes out the last few walkers, and then we swap to Carol, who's tasked with, well, exactly the same thing. I'm gonna sneak. I'm a sneaky boy. Woman. And as predicted, going sneaky goes wrong almost immediately. But that's alright, because I have the least effective pistol in US history. No, it's not my bloody aim, alright? If I see a single skill issue in that comment section, I'm gonna be absolutely seething. Yes! That was good, man. Overall, Carol takes down an unholy amount of walkers, and in no short part thanks to the regular availability of explosive vests in the US prison system. She takes down the last few thanks to her impressive machete skills. Then we swap to Daryl, who's inside the prison, armed with literally 1 crossbow bolt, by the way. Damn, Daryl really got the short straw here. Shane had the overpowered 12-round revolver, Carol had an abundance of grenade walkers to take advantage of, and all Daryl gets is a fire axe and a sharpened stick. And he's got to fight 2 hulked out roidheads. And the last time someone took this many back shots, Kim Kardashian got 200 million views on the hub. How is this guy taking so many hits? I then find myself a shotgun, and well, things go a lot better from there. Shane then catches up with Carol and Daryl, but unfortunately we have a massive problem. One of the prisoners has been locked in the canteen this entire time, and we've got to decide what to do with him. And you know what? I'm sure he wasn't a violent offender, so I invite him to stay in the cell with me and my baby mama. Then we have another bloody group conflict between Merle and Glenn, and basically Merle's being a racist piece of shit, so obviously I side with Glenn. It's really annoying that these group conflict things don't really have an effect on the story. Episode 12, sick. And this time it's Hershel's turn up to bat, and he's been tasked with finding the armory so we can properly defend this place. And there seems to still be lots of walkers in their cells. Good thing they're locked up safely, right? I'm so happy that Hershel's nice and safe. I also find an abundance of drugs in this prison, and that's gotta be the most unrealistic thing in this entire game. Drugs in prison? Nah mate, the guards won't allow that. I get to the security room and find myself an assault rifle. And if I know video games, which I think I probably do, I'd say I'm about to fight these 2 fat bastards, as unfortunately they seem to be carrying plot armor. Hershel presses a random button, and that opens up all of the cells, letting out all of the knobheads. But surprisingly not the 2 fat fuckers in the same room as me. Wait, hang on, they can't get out. Their inability to step over an ankle-high crate comes in clutch, and I light the fuckers up. I can then collect a bucket load of ammo, as well as the weapons bag, which I'm guessing is tucked away in my prison pocket. And now I've got to fight my way back to the rest of the group. Ho ho ho, now I have a machine gun. And I've given this game plenty of shit, so I think it's only right to compliment it when it does something good. I actually really enjoyed this mission. What can I say? I'm a real simple-minded man. You give me a machine gun and waves of the undead, and I'm like a pig in bloody shit. Ooh, there's a grenade there. Again, no idea how homemade grenades make it into prisons, but you know, I'm not here to judge. I then come across a massive amount of crawlers. I guess this prison must have had a massive amputee wing. Hershel then meets up with Shane and gives him the sack of guns, but unfortunately gets bit on the back of the leg. But that's alright, grab the axe and we'll chop that bastard off. Wait. Shane, where you going, bro? R.I.P. Hershel, I guess. Episode 13, Killer Within. And with Laurie expected to give birth any day now, her and Carol go looking for the pharmacy to try and find a safe place to give birth. But suddenly the prison alarm starts sounding, and walkers start closing in on their location. But it turns out there's worse things out there than the undead. Shane and Maggie burst into the pharmacy and find a lifeless corpse on the floor. It appears Carol has been murdered. And Laurie strangely seems to be perfectly fine, and she's very quick to blame Andrew for the murder. That bastard! I did everything right by him. what I get for trusting a criminal. So Shane heads off on the warpath. Firstly, he needs to get these alarms off. Light 'em up, light 'em up. We on fire! But after finding and shooting down all 8 alarms, Shane decides that was a waste of time. So instead tries to shut shit down from the control center. Would have saved a lot of ammo if you did that like 20 minutes ago, Shane, but yeah, sure, whatever. But the alarm doesn't stop and Andrew just casually jogs past. And now I've just got to chase the bastard down. Shane tracks him to the generator room and the bastard tries taking me down with a fire axe. But what can I say, Shane is one speedy boy. And now with next to 0 visibility, I've got to find and turn off 2 generators. But after I successfully do that, suddenly there's another 2 generators I need turning off. And now the place is on fire. So guess what? I find and turn off another 2 generators. And now I've got to find and turn off another 4. And it takes me absolutely ages as I can see fuck all. And I gotta stay crouched to avoid the smoke inhalation. But finally I get to face off against Andrew. And he's a skinny little shit who's been locked in a canteen the entire apocalypse. Whereas I'm an alpha chad who's been putting babies in my best friend's wife. There was only ever gonna be one winner. Get wrecked, you little bitch. But while Shane was beating criminal scum, Laurie was having her stomach cut open and a baby pulled out of it. To be honest, I'm just surprised the farm girl managed to complete a C-section with 0 training. Aw, look at that. She lives. I mean, Carol's dead, but aw. R.I.P. Carol, I guess. Then we get another group conflict, and for once, Merle's not involved. Sisters Maggie and Beth are arguing because Beth is thinking about topping herself. And I'm like, whoa, it's a free country, let Beth do what she wants. One less mouth to feed, if you know what I'm saying. But I might have accidentally pressed the wrong button. Oh, hang on, I accidentally sided with Maggie. I got my left or right mixed up. Shit. Episode 14. Take care of each other. And basically, Daryl's got to collect some baby formula for a little ass kicker. What the fuck? Who's this dickhead? Apparently, I can spawn in with bad guys directly behind me. Well, have a go on that, you leather jacket wearing prick. It's a leathered bald dude with a baseball bat. I'm pretty sure I just fought Negan. And now it's time for Daryl to become a ninja. And apparently, nobody cares that their mate just took an arrow to the face. He creeps about stabbing everybody's skulls without really knowing if these guys are baddies or not. And I guarantee you didn't know this, but Daryl Dixon is a feminist. They got the peripheral version of a blind man, as he treats all of the men and women with absolute equality. We take down the final baddie and collect all of the supplies. Then Daryl finds a katana-wielding badass beating off some strangers. Not like that, you dirty bastards. And cementing himself as everyone's favourite feminist, Daryl saves her life. And it turns out when it's actually got ammo, the bow might be the best weapon in the game. And with one guy still left, the game fades to black and all of a sudden we become Michonne. However, Daryl has been captured by the baddies. Well, I've obviously got to save him in the same way he just saved me, right? But nah, fuck that, Michonne heads straight for the exit. But she was nice enough to pick up the baby shite on the way out and deliver it to the prison. She tells the survivors that Daryl was kidnapped and is being held in a town called Woodbury. She then tells us a story from a few days ago. Episode 15. Walk with me. Quite literally, as we now have to follow the governor and T-Dog around. Oh yeah, and T-Dog's back, by the way. One-handed, one-eyed, but at least he's got a full set of hair. Fair play, I guess they're still doing flights to Turkey. I hope he got a new set of teeth while he was there. Gotta look after yourself, you know? So the governor gives me the full tour of Woodbury, which is super annoying, because as you can see, I'm like twice the speed of him. If only that was the worst thing in this game, then I'd be okay with it. With the tour complete, he shows Michonne the fighting pits, but she's like, nah, fuck that, I'm out of here. But first, she's got to find her signature katana. Basically, she did a branding course a couple of years ago and knows how important it is to look the part. Episode 16. Made to suffer. Michonne's now got to find her way into town hall without being spotted by any of the guards. Not great this whole stealth thing, I was immediately walked into the armed guards. Yeah, it's probably safe to assume as a rule of thumb, when a game wants you to find your way into somewhere, it's probably not going to be as simple as walking through the front door. Now I need to find something to break the lock off that gate. Well, it's quite handy that I happen to stumble across a workshop. However, it is heavily guarded, so I need a way of distracting the guards. So I head back down the stairs desperately searching for a bottle or something, which unfortunately I don't find, but I do find this woman guarding a suspiciously small area. And while she's literally staring at a brick wall, I make my move. Well, at least I attempt to. Thankfully, a roly-poly gets me sorted. Then I come across another guard and this one's watching some plastic bottles. Like, what exactly did you fuck up so bad that they put you in charge of watching over the recycling? And he even fucked that up. Anyway, I head back upstairs and lob the plastic bottle, which thankfully distracts the guard. But not the one I needed to be distracted. So I head back down the stairs, back past the guard staring at the brick, and pinch myself a second plastic bottle. Again, head back upstairs and try distracting her for the second time. But she is just simply not interested. And that's when I realised there's actually a second part I can hide in, so when she turns around for the third time, I can sneak in. And would you look at that, a set of bolt cutters in the workshop. So head back to the gate and break in via a fade to black. I then have to sneak my way past some blind guards. Like, I genuinely suspect they found these guys in a Specsavers waiting room. Should have gone to Specsavers. Hashtag not an ad, but if Specsavers would like to pay me £50,000, I'm not going to complain. So I sneak my way to the open window and you guessed it, creep in via a fade to black. I can then find Michonne's katana on the governor's table, but that's not the only thing I find in his apartment. I suspect he has ties to Prince Andrew, as I find a small child chained up in the cupboard. Oh, hang on, I take it all back, it's just a walker. The governor then bursts into the room, and he's like, no, please don't hurt my baby girl. And that takes us to our next defining decision. Do I put down the undead, or show mercy to a grieving father? I decide to have a heart and spare the kid. Then T-Dog barges in and sparks out the governor. T-Dog then shoots the kid, and is like, you're batshit crazy, I'm taking your job, you prick. Then in a surprise twist of events, Michonne comes to the governor's aid. He legs it out the door and Michonne and T-Dog fight, but obviously Michonne gets the better of him by stabbing him in the eye that he's already missing. Episode 17, Hounded. And I'm now playing as the governor, who apparently is being hunted by his own people. Wait, what the fuck? How does that even make sense? Well, to be fair, I suppose this woman did just see me stab someone in the face, but for some reason the game won't let me swing my sledgehammer. Well, in that case, then I've just gotta leg it. And the funny thing is, I genuinely don't know if that's a feature or a glitch, because I find myself a revolver, I'm then able to shoot my former men. And the women, let's not let the ladies feel left out, but no matter what, it won't let me use the sledgehammer. The gates then burst open and walkers start pouring inside. But that's alright, I'm an agile boy, I'll just go around the outside of them. And I'm assuming I'm supposed to have a cutscene right now, but yeah, I just got a black screen. But it kinda sounds to me like T-Dog, our new makeshift villain, has captured someone. Well, back to the prism, and it seems Philip has joined the group. And also Beth and Michonne are bickering. And it's like Michonne is brand new to this group, and she's already willing to get her hands dirty by taking the pills off our resident pillhead. Fair play to her. Episode 18, When the Dead Come Knocking. And now the group need more firepower to rescue Daryl from Woodbury. But I'd argue this is definitely questionable leadership on Shane's behalf. The dude is perfectly alright with allowing his baby mama to go search for weapons in a building with heavily armed men in. And this is merely days after the woman had a C-section, for fuck's sake. You're about to get beaten up by a woman who's just had a C-section. You know what I mean? That's some serious fucking surgery, by the way. Like, her stomach was ripped open. But in the end, I just shoot him in the face. I then find the weapons crates, then head upstairs in the search for more weapons crates. And even with 15 stitches in her stomach, Laurie absolutely decimates the living. Gotta appreciate the woman who's more than happy to drop a frag. We then wander around a warehouse, battering wooden crates, trying to find more weapons cases. Oh yeah, and zombies are falling through the ceiling. But for the most part, I leave the undead for the other knobheads, and focus on getting the weapons crates before leaving the building. And now we gotta rescue our boy Daryl from Woodbury. We start in the fighting pits as Daryl fighting the governor. And my stream chat was like, watch out, this is gonna be proper hard. But it turns out if you just feed him to the walkers, it does massive damage. Daryl solos the governor, but guess what? The bastard gets a second wind. Daryl doesn't though. Same HP and everything. But look, Daryl ain't taking no prisoners and absolutely decimates the specky prick. So to give the man a chance, T-Dog gives him a shotgun. But Daryl never gives him a chance to use it and just cleanly sparks the fucker out. And with the governor laying unconscious on the floor, our group of heroes break into Woodbury and just start blasting. And now I'm back playing as Shane and I gotta destroy all the military vehicles. Which turns out to be pretty simple, as I could take out 4 of them from the safety of this platform. In fact, the only reason I dropped down was to collect more ammo. And I don't know who's designing these guys' gear, but I've got to get myself one of these helmets. Oh my god, that is an impressive helmet. I destroy the last of the trucks and escape. Meanwhile, T-Dog stands around staring at the burning Woodbury. And apparently when we escaped, we took a load of their citizens with us. Wow, those guys are super forgiving. With that, Season 3 is completed and we move on to Season 4. And it's fair to say Daryl is taking this job very seriously.
They keep piling up, that fence will come down.
Yeah, well, it is inevitably going to come down. And if you think this mission is too easy to be kicking off a season, let me assure you it is not. I've also got to move around piles of shite. Stab, stabby. Oh, so much admin to do in this fence clearing shit. We clear out our 12th and final walker and the game does its favourite thing. Fade to black. And it's probably quite difficult to sum up what's going on in like 5 slides of a PowerPoint presentation, but let me give it a go. This is a piece of cannon fodder we picked up from Woodbury. Apparently he gets a bit hot in the night and he has an addiction to cheap ass energy drinks. Oh, wait, look, hang on. He's now a walker. And I bet you didn't know this about the virus. It grows out your hair and gives you a fresh set of claws. Go to Black Sea Hall. Okay. Oh, look, Glenn's coming with me. Hey, Glenn. We haven't had a team up yet. Alright, Glenn, Jesus Christ, but apparently Glenn's not a fan of teaming up with Daryl, and I've never been more disappointed in my entire life. I've then got to take out our first eye-bleeding walker. Daryl then has to save everybody's life. And I'm sure we can all agree that's a lot of pressure to stick on a man.
They got me! Help!
Alright, mate, I'm trying to help you. My god, these people are so impatient. Grab a ticket and join the fucking queue, son, alright? I successfully saved the cannon fodder, and I bet you didn't know this about Daryl's crossbow. It can hold 2 bolts in the chamber? Having picked up a second piece of cannon fodder, I've got to escort them both upstairs. But with them both safely upstairs, the game doesn't progress. And it's one of those many moments where I'm like, right, is the game glitched, or am I doing something wrong? Well, shock and horror, it turns out I was actually doing something wrong. There really is a first time for everything, I'm sure you'll agree. There's a third piece of cannon fodder we've got to save. save. He was just casually hiding behind a wheelie bin, right next to a pump-action shotgun. Honestly, why am I even wasting my time trying to save this guy? But whatever, you know Daryl's the good guy. And now with 3 measly people saved, we've got to clear out C block. But it's a real pain in the arse that these bastards have just left their wooden crates blocking the entrance. Honestly, it's just a health and safety accident waiting to happen. And you may now also notice, shotgun, absolute beast. Which really does make me wonder if it was glitched the last time I played. Oh, look at that. Why have we got grenade walkers in our prison? Jesus Christ. It seems clear to me that Woodbury was actually an Al-Qaeda sleeper cell. I take out the remains of C-Block and clip myself a machine gun. And now Daryl's goal is simple. Investigate the other areas. I find a room full of walkers, and let's be honest, why dick about when you're carrying a homemade grenade? Cracking shot, I'm sure you'll agree. I then enter the room to investigate, and there's just one big guy trapped behind a wheelie bin. So I drop a homemade grenade I found in the canteen, then well and truly light the bastard up. Let him up, let him up. Oh my Jesus, where the fuck did you come from? And now, seen as I'm panicked, the only thing I can do is bloody leg it. However, I find myself trapped in a dead end, and with a fat guy blocking the entrance, there's only one way out. R.I.P. Daryl, I guess. Nah, I'm just kidding. I spawn back into the room with all the doors sealed and zombies just snapping in. But as you probably figured out, I'm an absolute beast with any kind of explosive. I can then properly and cheekily take down the big guy behind the wheelie bin. Ah, there we go. The second fatty then enters the room, and I can appropriately deal with him. Oh god, what the hell was that? What's happening into his face? But unfortunately, after all this walker slaying, it seems that Daryl has become infected. With the flu, that is. Let me clarify. Don't worry, I will do everything in my power to keep Daryl Dixon alive. Shane tells Maggie to sort out some antibiotics. Meanwhile, Shane is going to head back to his hometown to loot the police station. Episode 20... Wait, what? Days gone by? Oh, great. Just another bug in this game. Wouldn't have it any other way. Shane starts sneaking about his old town, stealthing zombies as he goes. But inevitably, whenever I'm involved in some kind of stealth plan, something is inevitably going to be blown up. And I am then inevitably spotted by a sniper. And it's Morgan, the guy who saved Rick at the beginning of the game or show. And now he's an expert marksman who'll never miss a shot. Ha ha ha! I am a tactical genius, Morgan. You will never kill me. Well, to be fair, he doesn't need to. Just soften you up enough that the walkers can do the job for him. You just get stuck. Because you can't fucking do anything. Because the game's stupid. It doesn't let you use the controller. And I swear to God, even if I get a whiff of the phrase skill issue in that comment section, I will not be held responsible for my actions. So in my previous attempts, I was trying to play things smart and stealthy, taking out the walkers as I come across them. But that just meant they'd build up faster than I could take them down, and inevitably I took too much damage from Morgan's sniper rifle. So as is typical with this game, your best bet is just to simply leg it to your destination. Just sprint as fast as you can and avoid any and all walkers. I get to the building that Morgan's hiding out in, and basically at this angle he can't get a shot off at me. There also turns out to be a fat bastard the game wants me to fight, but I'm like, nah, I'm alright mate, how about you get me to that exit point please? Morgan and Shane can then have this showdown. Morgan's like, run away you dodgy bastard, I don't trust you. And Shane's like, I bet I think you knew my buddy Rick. Then Morgan's like, oh my god Rick, it's been so long, what a legend. How's the handsome bastard doing? Then Shane's like, yeah, he sound but, yeah. Any chance I could borrow a couple of guns, big man? And Morgan's like, I sound, yeah, no problem, but. We then jump back to HQ in the West Georgia Correctional Facility. And for once it seems everybody's getting along perfectly fine. No bickering and no group conflicts to resolve. Although Beth is sobbing in the corner. Seems upset. I'm not getting into that. Episode 22. This Sorrowful Life. And basically Glenn, Michonne and Maggie have headed to their local supermarket to pick up some veterinary antibiotics. And no, that is not a joke. But what is a joke is how broken this fucking game is. You simply cannot melee attack while holding the sledgehammer. And even when I retreat and pick up the baseball bat, it still won't let me attack. The game's glitched, chat. Which means Glenn dies in pretty funny circumstances. It wouldn't let me swing the bat. I spawn back in to give it another try. Yeah, the sledgehammer's broken in this game, chat. Look, I'm doing science right now. Sledgehammer breaks the game. I'm sure you'll agree that was a very scientific approach. And now it's time for Glenn to crack on and find some, like, dog dewormer or something. I then try to collect something off the shelf that looks like it should be collected, but the game's like, nah, but I don't think so.
Not ready, not ready.
What do you mean you're not ready? How can you not be ready? Just grab the shit off the shelf, you prick. Anyway, I just start blasting, and with all the walkers taken care of, I try to loot the shelves. But apparently it's not actually to be collected, even though it glows when you're in instinct mode. I have a little look about, but can't find the medicine, so keep moving forward until I come across another grenade walker. Damn man, it seems like West Georgia has a pretty serious domestic terrorism problem. Glenn does eventually find the medicine, but the game then fades to black and it seems like he's been kidnapped. Then we take over as Michonne, who swapped the katana for the machete machine gun combo. She sneaks her way through until she gets spotted by a walker that isn't even in the bloody map. And as I'm sure you all know, walkers can't bend their knees. So I crawl my way under a piece of plywood and decimate everything from distance with the machine gun. I can then make my way upstairs and find the medicine that Glenn dropped. But guess what? Michonne also gets captured. I then finally take over as Maggie to find out what's been happening. Firstly, I sneak past a load of armoured walkers, because why wouldn't I? They're stupid. That's when I come across a human enemy. And he is also very stupid. Like, imagine coming across a woman in the apocalypse rocking military-grade automatic machine guns. Meanwhile, you're only rocking a baseball bat and thinking, yeah, you know what? I can definitely win this. I can then carry forward but get a radio message from the governor. But that's, not an image of the governor. That is Rick's photo, chat. This is what I mean, right? Not only is this game just terrible, but it doesn't even work. Ignoring the governor / Rick, I head downstairs to look for Michonne. Can I lob that somewhere? Oh my god, they drop it from the sky! And they're very quick to rile up. But thank Christ for flimsy pieces of plywood, am I right? I climb on this. Oh, I am a tactical genius. I climb onto this as well. In fact, I don't need to be on the supermarket floor at all. That is definitely gonna break. Okay, I'm a moron, don't listen to me. I drop down and find the medicine. Maggie then radios Shane saying she's got the meds, but Glenn and Michonne have been kidnapped. She's like, don't worry though, I'm going after them. But Shane's like, don't be daft, you silly twat. You need to get back here with our medicine or more people are gonna die. So we head back to the prison. You might recognise that blurry bastard stood in the foreground. Yeah, so even though Glenn's been kidnapped, he still fancy turning up, I guess. That is a bloody committed employee. Fair play to him. And now it's time for the series finale. Too Far Gone. With Glenn and Michonne captured, a showdown with a former Woodbury leader is inevitable. Since losing his town, he has formed a new community of followers to execute his retaliation. And to make matters worse, he also controls a military tank. Now the survivors must stop him from taking away everything they've worked so hard to build. Bum, 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 bum. That's right, T-Dog is holding Glenn and Michonne captive. But it's fair to say we probably shouldn't be having Shane as our negotiator.
I'll tell you what, you turn your sorry ass around and go back to that rooftop in Atlanta where we left you, and I'll pretend this never happened.
Great work, Shane. I'm sure that'll de-escalate the situation.
You got a tank? I'll burn this goddamn place to the ground myself before I let you set one foot on it.
I've then got to make our final decision of the game. Can Glenn appeal to his sense of community? Or can Michonne convince him to stop the cycle of violence? Oh no. If I choose Glenn, does that mean Michonne dies? If I choose Michonne, does that mean Glenn dies? Ideally, I don't want anyone to die, but feel that Glenn might have a better chance of convincing him. And Glenn gives the most heart-wrenching speech a man can give with a katana to his throat. It's basically the same one that Rick gives in the mid-season finale of Season 4.
We've all done awful things just to stay alive, but we're not too far gone. We can come back. We get to come back.
I ain't hearing this shit!
Well, that was rude. He killed Glenn! He killed Glenn! Bastard! The tank then penetrates our fences, and apparently it's Laurie's job to fight a bloody tank? I'm pretty certain this is the moment she wanted to hand in her feminism card. I know I said this last time, but the woman's just given birth, like. Surely no one's gonna complain if she sits this one out. Rather predictably, the woman with 15 stitches in her uterus can't take on a fully fledged tank. But when I respawn, I'm no longer Laurie. Oh well, time to strap in. We are now fighting a war with the ghost of Carol Peltier. Take your hits you want, you little bastards! But I'm ashamed to admit that Carol dies for the second time. But just like Easter Sunday, guess who's back? And this time she just blasts the tank from distance. Completely out of range from the tank shells, and too far away for T-Dog's men to do anything. We defeated the tank, are you serious? Even though it was quite clearly defeated by the ghost of an old woman, the tank continues forward. And now it's Daryl's turn to stop it. Armed with one bloody crossbow bolt, may I add. Alright, make that 0. He moves through the tall grass like a velociraptor, eliminating all of T-Dog's little bitches. He then drops a grenade down the tank's big ol' shaft. But that turns out to be barely an inconvenience for T-Dog. It didn't even singe his new hairline. Then we finally get the face-off that literally nobody asked for. Shane versus T-Dog. Two characters I'm not even sure spoke to each other in the show, but here they are battling it out for your amusement. I even get to wield Michonne's katana. Well, for a little bit at least. Like, genuinely, it won't even let me a fight. This is what I mean by this stupid fucking game. Anyway, I completely and utterly decimate the bloke first time. No, shut the fuck up. Don't go watch the full stream. Big Dog Shane then just flat out decapitates T-Dog. R.I.P. T-Dog, I guess. We then become Michonne, who somehow has got back her katana and is also very deep within the prison, despite being T-Dog's hostage like 2 minutes ago. But anyway, Michonne's job is a simple one. Find a path through the fire. That fire is solid object, right? Gotcha. Who'd have guessed that Michonne wasn't fireproof? Anyway, I find my way through the flames and make it to the tower. Again, first time and everything. Hey, dickhead, I said not to watch the full live stream, alright? Michonne makes it to the top of the tower armed with a sniper rifle. Wait, Rick's back! Oh, great, more bloody ghosts, like. And what makes things worse is I've got to keep the bastard alive while sniping through flame. And if you've never seen any of my content before, sniping is not exactly my forte. But anyway, with Daryl, Shane, and maybe even Rick's ghosts perfectly safe, it's now Michonne's job to escape. Which I again do first time. Weren't even difficult, mate, I'm just a pro, like, you know? And with everything burning, our heroes escape. Michonne through the open fence, Merle jumping on the school bus. The governor is still alive? I thought Daryl cleared him out in the pits. And wait, Dale's still here? He hasn't had any screen time since like season 2. Daryl, Maggie, and Beth all leave together, and Shane leaves with Laurie and little baby ass kicker. R.I.P. prison, I guess. We then get a tease for a potential sequel. Yeah, fuck it, alright. Sanctuary for all, community for all. Those who arrive survive. And then we fade into the credits. And I'm guessing some silly twat must have been using autocorrect. Unless I've been playing all kind dead Destinies. What an absolute shit show. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe.